Hey guys, Cloud here, and today we have episode 12 of How to Code Guns in Minecraft. I know it's getting long, but there is a lot to this, and I'm trying to keep the episodes in a concise manner. So this episode, as you know, we will be doing sound effects. So we're going to just do sound effects for the Glock because it's just going to be our example case for the rest of this tutorial series. We are just going to do the Glock, and we're going to add shooting sound effects like this. And we're going to add reload sound effects like this. Okay, and the sound files I used will be included in the description. They are basically rips of just the CSGO reload sound effects, just edited a little bit so that the timing is just right or a little bit better. I didn't take a ton of time on this. Obviously, you want to do some more sound design to make it even better, crisper audio, make sure the levels of the sound effects are the same and all that kind of jazz. But for the most part, it's a starting point, and we're going to focus on the commands. So before we hop into this video, as always, I want to just take a quick run through of a very small change I wanted to make from the last video or our last stuff, and that is the inventory changed advancement. So previously we were checking if the inventory changes when you have some kind of a gun and in your inventory, and then detecting if it's in your offhand. You can actually make this a little bit simpler, which is nice to do. You replace this, and now you have the new version where you check for if the entity in the offhand has the ender eye with the MBT, which is just a nice little simplification. I will rename this to reload gun, okay? And then we will go into functions, input, and we can honestly just go like this, 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 go into reload start, and just slap that in there. And then remove reload gun, and then go like this, go like this, go like this, delete that, go like that, and then this does not have a reward, so we're going to add the reward right here, which is what we did before. But we're going to just change it to reload gun and change this one to reload slash start. There you go. So more directly, just reload the gun. So we can do slash reload, and then I will shoot a couple times, hit F, and we're still good. All right, so that kind of fixed things. So now you can see that it will only trigger that advancement when I put it in my offhand, which is really cool. And I even personally, I will admit, somebody pointed this out to me. I forget their name. I'm sorry about that, but I didn't even know this was a possibility because there was actually something that I had never done before, in the sense that when you go to conditions on the Misode site, there is this legacy. But if you change it from legacy to conditions, now you can access the equipment to detect specifically when something in the offhand changes or something in the head, chest, main hand, and all that, which is a really nice feature. I just didn't know it existed, so thank you for pointing that out. So we are going to go into our guns resource pack, go to assets, gun, and we're going to add sounds.json file. The sounds.json file is a file that lists all custom sounds. It first lists the name that they will show up in game, paired with the sound that it will play. If you add stuff to this array, it will play a random one of those sounds, but we don't want randomization. But that is very important to note in the future, okay? We'll play around with it. Like, we will play around with it later, but we're going to, for now, just do one sound. But we can definitely play around with randomized. I need to test it. I haven't actually tried it myself, but as far as I remember, if you add commas to this list, it should randomly pick between one of those sounds, and you can do that for a uniform randomized sound effect, which could be really cool. But for shooting and reload, we don't need randomization, but maybe something like, I don't know, something else that you might want some randomization. So anyways, so the shoot sounds will name shoot.glock and reload.glock. And the convention here is shoot for the beginning of the sound effect, and then the name of the gun with it. And so we'll have the same folder structure, shoot and Glock, inside this custom folder called gun. So we will have one called sounds, and then we will have one called shoot. Then we will have one called reload. And then I will just paste these from before. There is a glock.ogg, and this is very important I have some tutorials on how to import sound effects, but you want to use a program similar to Audacity or VLC Media Converter. It looks just like this. They're both free. We also have VLC Media Player. And these two programs, you can basically load a sound. You can go to convert and save. You can pick a sound to add here. So I can pick a sound like the CSGO Glock sound. It's an MP3 file. I can click convert and save. I can convert to a VGG OGG Vorbis. Okay. And then I can name it and convert it. And then I can throw the OGG into Audacity. And I can make sure that it has both sound effects. So if you don't see the duplicates, then it's mono. And you need to convert mono to stereo. Otherwise, when you turn your head in game, the sound will not sound any differently. So you do need to make sure that it's a stereo sound, and then go to File, Export OGG, and export that. And once you do, then you'll have your sound effects that you can put into your resource pack. So now I have my resource pack. I'm going to hit F3T, and then now when I do /play sound, I can go gun, and now I have these sound effects. So I can run this one. In the channel, we'll put it on master, but eventually we might change the channel so that people can change the sound effects so that they can balance it themselves on their settings. So if I do this, it makes the shoot sound effect perfectly timed to begin the fire at the beginning. And then we have reload. Ooh. It should be gun:_reload.glock master @s, and that will make the reload sound effect. So now we need to get these sound effects in game. So in order to do that, it's very simple. We just need to have like a good convention. So let's go into our data pack, and we're going to build a very basic convention for this. So inside gun Glock, this is kind of our demo that we'll be building for one of the guns, and we'll just copy and paste it for getting other guns, and we'll change it eventually. But here we have all of our gun stats right here in this line. We're going to add a new MBT, which, yes, the MBT is getting pretty beefy, but obviously you can include or disinclude different things depending on your system, or if you have something where the guns are not very changeable, then you don't have to use MBT. So we're going to have a new MBT section called SFX, which stands for sound effects. Okay. And then we're going to have shoot:1, reload:1. So those will be the shoot sound effect IDs. And we're going to add that to get stats. So when we get the gun stats, we will also get the sound effect stats. So we will do sfx.shoot and sfx.reload. And then we will do sfx.shoot. And if any of these get loaded and they don't exist on the gun, then the default value is 0. So keep that in mind. That's why I set it to 1 there. Now, when we shoot, which is inside this function and inside this function for bursting and shooting, we can run function gun::sfx/shoot, and we will make a new folder for this so that it's easy to find if we need to change specifically the sound effects later, which may happen quite frequently. And there you go. So in those two instances, you shoot. And then the other place you need to run a sound effect is inside reload and start. And you probably want to, for now, we're just going to throw it here, but we're going to have to add some exceptions for stopping sound effects as well. But we'll just do this right here. Okay, so then the next thing we probably want to do is add a new channel, or have a channel that reload sound effects play on, or have some kind of way to stop all the reload sound effects. So inside stop, we're going to have a function here that says reload_stop. Okay. And shoot, we don't need to stop. So now we can make this new folder called SFX, and we're going to have a function called reload, and we're going to do execute if score.sfx.reload stats matches 1, run play sound gun::reload.glock master @a ~. And we can play around with like sound, how far you can hear things from later, and all those kind of fun things. But for now, we just need the bare basics. So now we need shoot. So this would be sfx.shoot. And if it matches 1, run the shoot.glock. Okay. And finally, the last function we're going to need for this is reload_stop. And this will do the stop sound command. So this is important. Stop sound at S or at A star gun reload.glock. So this will stop the reload sound. You might not want to have this. Like games like CSGO, they actually don't stop the reload sound effect if you stop reloading. And that can just be a balance, like something that you can play around with if you want that to be there or not. But I want it for realism, so I want it to stop the sound. All right, so when I do reload, now I right click and it makes the Glock shot sound. And there you go. It makes the reload sound. Okay. So one thing that I also need to do is, that I did not add here, is force it to stop reloading if your ammo is full. So we'll just go here, and then we can do if score dot ammo dot count stats equals dot reload dot mag stats. Okay. So now if I do this, it'll cancel the sound and cancel the reload. There you go. So that's the reload and shoot sound effects setup. And if we do sound effects for other things, it will be handled similarly. You just play one of your functions and read the stat. All right, guys, hopefully you like that. We're going to be moving on to hit scans in the next video. If you have any suggestions, let me know. The download to the current video will be in the description as always, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.